back end of 2017 has been awash with copycat bezel-less phones. One of them is the Doogee Mix 2, on paper packed with plenty of features. Is it worth the £154, $215? Let's find out. When you pick up the Mix 2, you instantly notice the solid feel and weight. It's not light by any means, weighing in at 210 grams. If you've been used to slim phones in the past, the Mix 2 will come as a shock. Hold this phone for a length of time and you'll notice fatigue in your hands very quickly. It's also a fingerprint magnet with a glass back. The rest of the design is fairly clean. On one side you have the volume buttons along with the power on-off. On the top you have the dual SIM slots with SIM 2 available for a micro SD card. The bottom of the Mix 2 contains the USB-C and mono speaker. As with most phones nowadays, the 3.5mm headset jack has been removed. Luckily, an adapter is provided by Doogee. There's no physical button on the front. Instead, the Mix 2 uses virtual buttons that you swipe up from the bottom of the screen. The top of the 5.99-inch display houses the dual front cameras for selfies. One is for group selfies using the 130-degree wide-angle camera. Around the back is the dual camera setup, the fingerprint sensor and twin flash. The fingerprint sensor generally works okay at this price point, but nowhere as slick as the more expensive flagship phones for speed and accuracy. One of the main selling points of the Mix 2 is the 5.99-inch slim bezel display with a 18:9 aspect ratio. When you compare the rendered images on the Doogee website with the actual phone in your hand, it's not what I consider slim bezels. However, the IPS panel is sharp and clear at 403 ppi with a full HD plus resolution surrounded by Gorilla Glass 5. Content consumption indoors or outdoors is excellent and bright. The brightness does drop off at an angle when you're not viewing the display straight on. This review model is powered by a Helio P25 chip with 6GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. The P25 performs well with general day-to-day usage, and most modern games run fine on it. Performance-wise, the P25 is slightly below the Snapdragon 630 in benchmark tests. For the stat nerds, the P25 comes onto the scales at just over 65,000, whereas the 630 scores nearly 88,000. To compare, a Helio X25 has a figure of 87,388. Multitasking using several apps is fine and no complaints when flicking through them. The Doogee Mix 2 has a large 4060 mAh battery. In general usage you can easily get through a whole day without charging. Standby time is also pretty good. In terms of charging, the Mix 2 comes with Quick Charge 1.0. Yeah, I know. In 30 minutes you can add 28% to the battery life on the Mix 2. With the hours charging, expect around 53% increase, not as slow as some other tech reviews have stated. The great news about the Mix 2 Android skin over Android 7.1.1 Nougat is that it's clean and comes with the app drawer. The Google Play Store is pre-installed along with the usual Google apps. There's not much customization with the Doogee OS skin, so I would recommend installing one of your favourite launchers instead. The Mix 2 doesn't support the latest 802.11 AC Wi-Fi standard, only the older wireless N bands. Bluetooth is 4.0, USB-C for charging and support for USB on the go. If you're into Alipay or Google Pay contactless payments, tough, no NFC on the Mix 2. What can I say about the mono speaker? It's awful. Even when you set the volume halfway, you can hardly hear anything coming from the speaker. Better stick to Bluetooth headphones. Doogee market the Mix 2 as one of the first phones with quad cameras. This is highly debatable as one of the rear sensors doesn't seem to do very much. The other rear 16 megapixel camera made by Omnivision is poor. Most of the time there's either muted colours or oversaturation. Only on a perfect day will you get some semi-decent shots. The camera app is pretty basic with the usual face beauty, mono, pro and bokeh settings. The blur option is terrible to say the least, hence the question mark over the second sensor. The front two selfie cameras give you the option for a single selfie or switch to the wide angle second camera for group selfies. Quality wise the results are okay. The front camera is also used for facial recognition. Don't even bother. More often than not, it doesn't even recognise my face. Video output is 1080p with the rear camera and 720p on the front. Like the stills, video clips come out flat and lifeless. No OIS augments this pitiful end result. Would one buy the Doogee Mix 2 if you had it in your hands for a few minutes before buying? Short answer would be a definite no. The only thing going for this phone is the screen and battery life. It's solid but far too heavy to handle on a daily basis. The software is sparse and a big question mark whether you'll get the Android Oreo upgrade. The 4 cameras are exceptionally poor. Why not have 2 semi-decent cameras instead? Even at this low price point, it's not worth spending your money on the Doogee Mix 2. Pay a little bit extra for a much better experience. What do you guys think? Leave your comments and discuss below. Hope you guys enjoyed the review of the Doogee Mix 2 phone. Please click on the like button if you enjoyed this review video and subscribe if you would like to watch more of our tech videos. Thanks for watching. Cheers.